So can I get the judge removed in my case? Well, first of all, kudos to all of you that have judicial continuity. That doesn't happen as often as I think it should. And I say that because I go to so many of the bigger courts and you never get to see the same judge twice. So you spend a lot of your time repeating and explaining, either by paperwork or in submissions, bringing the judge up to date with what's going on. So some of the smaller courts or some judges that reserve cases to themselves, absolutely. And I understand how you might feel that. I understand how you might feel the want to complain, get the judge removed. But that is really rare. It's really rare for a judge to, and the legal term here is to recuse him or herself from the case. And the main basis that that would ever happen would be because somehow the judge has erred in law. Again, that's quite a legal term. But in other words, if the judge has genuinely made a mistake, or I don't know, if the judge knows you or your ex personally, that would be grounds to have or request to have a judge recuse themselves. But on the whole, what typically happens is people misread and don't understand language, diplomacy within the court. For example, something that happens all the time is when a judge is telling one party off, they often do it as if they're telling both off. And of course, you're sat there going, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. It's not me that's, I don't know, stopped contact. It's not me that's been abusive. It's not me that's done X, Y, and Z. And it can feel very, very personal. Half my time I spend translating what the judge says, because what the judge and I put other legal professionals in this box as well, actually, what other legal professionals and judges say don't translate well to your average person that walks into the court. And when you think about the fact that 70% of people that walk through either the real or virtual family court doors represent themselves, I think the language and the intent could do to be a little clearer, if I'm honest. You know, there's a very old-fashioned etiquette for a start. And if you've never been in that court scenario, or if you've never walked into the doors or been in that arena, it can feel really alienating. It can feel really, it doesn't even sound like English half the time. So I totally understand why it can feel really personal. I say this to all my clients. I always say feels are different to reals. Like I said, I spend most of my time translating what the judge and other legal professionals are actually saying. Nobody in real life wanders around going, with the greatest of respect, or, well, I humbly submit X, Y, and Z. No, it says nobody ever. It's weird. It's a very weird, antiquated way of talking. It's court language. It's court language, and I myself included. You can often feel yourself sort of, when you're speaking in that sort of language all day, every day. Not that I speak like that in real life. I don't, because I think that, especially the legal system, it should be something that is relatable and understandable. But that's not what you get in reality. So the short answer to the question is you can, but you're going to have real good reasons, not simply because, well, I don't like what they're saying, I don't agree with what they're saying. And here's another phrase that often litigants will say is the judge feels biased. And there's a whole range of whether you think the court is biased or not, but I'm not here to answer that. I'm here to simply say, if you want the judge recused, you're going to have really good reason to do so. In the past 17 years of doing this, which I know makes me sound like a dinosaur, but in the past 17 years of me doing this, I've seen a judge recuse himself once. Now, bearing in mind how many cases I deal with on a daily basis, you'd expect it to be a lot more, right? But that just goes to show you just how rare that happens. I want to know what your take on this is. What do you think about court language? Are you in a position where you just think that the judge is being biased? And I'm also going to put judge and magistrates also in there. I put all of them in that same boat, really, because they all end up speaking that same language. I go so far as to say magistrates possibly more antiquated. than sometimes a lot of High Court judges. So I want to know, who are you, not naming names, but are you in front of a judge? Are you in front of magistrates? What's been your experience to date? Guys, I hope that's helped. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll check you later.